Meteorologist Ross Mumau, Chief Meteorologist Lewis Turner, my trusted sidekick and trusted steed, some might say. Got the day off today, him and his wife, and supposedly the in-laws who are in town, taking the kids down to Orlando. They're going to Disney World, so hopefully Lou and his family are making the most of the warmer weather and really just the nice skies that we have out there today. So enjoy it, Lou, while you can, because winter is going to be returning by early next week. But until then, we've kind of got a little bit of a roller coaster ride here the next few days. Out there right now, partly to mostly cloudy skies. We've had some higher clouds begin to roll on in here really within about the last 30 to 45 minutes or so, but it is still quite warm. 75 degrees currently in downtown Jacksonville and at the International Airport. 79 there in Keystone Heights, even 78 in Gainesville. Whereas if you're out at the beach, although it does look like a rather nice day, it is a good bit chillier. Only the low to mid 60s from St. Simon's Island down to Mayport and Jax Beach and eventually down to St. Augustine. So beaches certainly on the cooler side today, whereas pretty much everyone from I-95 westward and inland, we've warmed up pretty nicely here. I think yesterday we hit 74. Today we hit 75. Hopefully you were able to have your lunch break outside today, or you left work early, take the kiddos to the park, or just try and get out and enjoy. Maybe have dinner outside here tonight. It's looking pretty good over the next few hours. I mean, we're only cooling off into the low 60s by about 7:30, 8 p.m. tonight, and then eventually down into the mid to low 50s tonight. So we are expecting a rather mild evening here. We're going to be about 10 degrees above normal or above average for our morning lows. So a mild night, yes, but we're also going to have to watch for some sea fog, not just for early tomorrow morning, but I mean, even here tonight for anyone who's got, late night, Friday night plans, especially, I would say by about 9:30 to 10 p.m., there's going to be some sea fog developing out of the beaches, and it's going to gradually work its way inland and westward as the night wears on. So I certainly wouldn't be surprised if by 11 p.m., midnight tonight, that fog has kind of hit that eastern side of the 295 Beltway. So we're going to be watching on our FDOT cameras there, like the Dames Point Bridge and some of the more well-lit areas, to see, how far inland some of that fog rolls in. But, certainly just keep it in mind, visibilities will be impacted. Some spots might not see a whole lot of fog. Others may have visibilities down to less than a mile, even less than a quarter mile, which would verify that dense fog. So just keep that in mind. If you are out running around at all tonight or even into early tomorrow morning, modeling showing it there, it does seem to kind of continue to progress to the west and southwestward, so that by, 8 a.m., most of the fog will have exited the area. There's a look at your morning low temperatures tomorrow, though. So if you're waking up and heading out on a Saturday morning jog or run, shouldn't be too bad. Honestly, pretty perfect running weather. Low to mid 50s for a lot of us. Might have a few spots in the upper 40s, but really shouldn't be all that chilly. Now, tomorrow will be a much cloudier day, and as I said, we're kind of starting to see that a little bit already, that increase in the higher clouds starting to roll in. Tomorrow, I mean, pretty much at every level, low, mid, high in the atmosphere, we're going to have a different amount of cloud cover, but nonetheless expect, mostly cloudy to overcast skies. Temperature-wise, we're only going to be in the low to mid 60s around the Jacksonville area, and I think this map, tells it pretty good. There's going to be a very wide range of conditions and temperatures out there tomorrow. So let's start up kind of coastal southeastern Georgia from Brunswick down to, Cumberland Island and St. Simon's Island. I mean, upper 50s for a lot of you. So overcast, chilly, breezy winds coming right off the water there out of the northeast, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Whereas you start to go a little bit further south and westward down towards Jacksonville, I had mentioned low to mid 60s. Then the further to the south and southwest, down towards Palatka and Gainesville, you don't have as much of an influence of that northeast breeze. You might have a little bit more sunshine trying to peek through the clouds. You could reach the upper 60s and even the low 70s as modeling is depicting here. So really we're going to have about a 15-degree temperature range from Brunswick to Gainesville tomorrow afternoon. So some folks, you're going to be in the sweats pretty much all day. I'm talking sweatpants, sweatshirt. You're going to be bundled up, especially in Georgia. Whereas if you live down in the swamp in Gainesville or, Putnam County, Southern Clay County, you might be all right with just a light long sleeve and a pair of shorts tomorrow. So kind of depends on where you're at. But certainly we're not going to be nearly as cold as what some other parts of the country are. I want to look specifically right up across the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Northern Plains. This morning at Minneapolis Airport there in Minnesota, they had a temperature of negative 30 degrees. And I'm not talking wind chills, folks. I'm talking literal air temperature, negative 30. I've been in wind chills probably between about a negative 10 and negative 15. I mean, that's dang freaking cold. But negative 30 is just kind of on a whole new level. And this is air that truly originated like at the Arctic Circle and even in Siberia and has now been kind of propelled or pushed southward. So temperatures kind of in northern Canada and closer to the North Pole are actually slightly warmer than the air that has now drifted across the northern part of the country. So these are live temperatures. I mean, negative 7 in Bismarck, negative 5 degrees in the Windy City in Chicago at 4:30 in the afternoon, negative 5. I guess there's a reason why you live in Florida, right? Nonetheless, we've got a major winter storm on the way, right? We've talked a lot about the potential for rain, ice, and potentially over a foot of snow for some folks. And the National Weather Service offices all across the country, I mean, they have got a multitude of advisories and watches and warnings all the way from extreme cold warnings there in North Dakota and Minnesota down to winter storm warnings that stretch from eastern New Mexico through Texas and Oklahoma and then the whole way over to Pennsylvania, Jersey, New York, ice storm warnings as well for northern Mississippi and Georgia and South Carolina and even western North Carolina. So a very messy event is about to take shape here over about the next 48 hours. So this is what Futurecast is currently showing. You can kind of see where that snow and ice line is going to set up kind of right over the I-40 corridor in Tennessee. Rain and even a few thunderstorms, perhaps more so across southern Alabama. Here comes the main front then as you look ahead to Sunday morning. So I think a place like Atlanta is going to be a very interesting spot. You've got cold air damming to the northeast, meaning northeast winds kind of pushing that cold air right up against the eastern slopes of the Appalachian Mountains. So the cold air is locked in at the surface, and a lot of kind of the eastern sides of the Atlanta metro over towards Athens, Clemson and Greenville, South Carolina, they're going to get a lot of freezing rain and accumulating ice upwards of more than a quarter inch, even a half inch in some spots. Then you've got the actual line along the cold front rolling in. And you see a lot of bright oranges and reds there kind of in Alabama at 9:30 Sunday morning. There will be some thunderstorms embedded in here. There's going to be a severe weather risk. So some folks in Atlanta, you're going to go from freezing rain and ice draped across the entire community and neighborhood to watching for potential severe weather all in one day on Sunday. Kind of a crazy setup. And this front will reach us. Now, I do want to stress, we're not going to get any of the snow or ice here on the First Coast, but we're still going to indirectly kind of feel the impacts. The front itself reaches us. We will see a few isolated thunderstorms out towards the Suwannee Valley and the western sides of the Okefenokee there after dinner time Sunday night. But most of us will really just kind of see some scattered showers during that overnight period and into early Monday morning. And we'll talk more on that here in a little bit. But I do just kind of want to stay hyper-focused on the actual winter storm itself. These are the snow forecast totals, from the European model, I believe. And they have shifted a good bit northward here over about the last 36 to 48 hours. You look kind of at like the Nova area there, just west of D.C., up into Maryland, Pennsylvania. They're talking 12 to 18 inches of snow out towards the west, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, potentially 1 to 2 feet of snow. So the snow is going to be a big talking point, and then of course the ice will be as well. From Midland, Texas, over through Dallas, Little Rock, Nashville, Atlanta, Charlotte, could see ice totals over a half inch, which would be crippling, not only for travel disruptions, but also for power outages as well. You've got those tree limbs coming down. You've got the power lines getting heavy with the ice and coming down as well. So if you do have any travel plans this weekend, I know one guy already emailed in last night asking about driving up to Raleigh tomorrow and then trying to come back on Sunday. Probably would err on the side of caution and just say, don't do it. There's going to be a lot of travel issues and trouble spots out there pretty much all weekend long. So just keep that in mind if you do have any travel plans this weekend. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring it back closer to home, talk about that local forecast and what you can expect here on the First Coast through the rest of the weekend and into next week. So stay tuned, folks. Welcome back in, folks. We talked, if you got any travel plans this weekend, whether you're flying or, if you're driving northward or westward, might just want to toss it in park. I certainly wouldn't be venturing up towards Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, or anywhere further north of there this weekend. Here on the home front, though, we talked a good bit about tomorrow. Cooler, more overcast, breezy. We're going to pretty much just flip the coin from head to tails on Sunday. We're going from the 60s Saturday, soaring even, into the low to mid 80s by Sunday afternoon. I mean, we're going to be about 15 degrees warmer than normal, if not even more than that. So great beach day on Sunday. I mean, temperatures out at the beach going to be in the mid 70s for a lot of folks. A bit of a steamy day. Breezy as well. Wind's going to be out of the southwest, kind of just pumping in the heat. So if you do have weekend plans, or perhaps if you don't and you are looking for something to do, we got a couple things here for you. We got the Barbecue Bacon and Brews Fest out in Clay County at the fairgrounds there near Green Cove Springs. I went to this last year. Pretty good. They got some good food. They got some good local vendors and stuff. So go check it out. If you like the cooler weather, tomorrow's a better day to go. If you like to soak up the sunshine and maybe work up a little bit of a sweat as you're walking around, Sunday would certainly be the day to go there. Going to be quite warm. Similar story if you're heading out to the Jacksonville Boat Show this weekend. Now, of course, this is an inside event. I'm not sure if Lou will be back from Disney World, but I'm sure nonetheless he'll be still dreaming about the big old boat that he could get at maybe some point in his life. I've tried to convince him that he needs to get a houseboat, that the two of us can just, take turns living in, essentially. I don't think we could coincide in the same boat. Too small of a space. Really messy, too, but meaning him, not me. But if you're going to the Jacksonville Boat Show, similarly, I mean, some pretty nice weather here. Tomorrow is going to be Sunday will by far be the warmest day. Now, rain chance-wise, we'll watch for maybe just one or two stray coastal showers tomorrow. Primarily, I would say from northern Duval County northward. So up through Nassau and Camden and Glenn counties there. Saturday. I would say most of us will stay dry. It's just going to look a bit dreary and gray through most of the day on Saturday. Sunday, some morning clouds. I think we will have a little bit more sunshine by the afternoon, as shown here. Temperatures climbing into the low to mid 80s, as I had mentioned. Perhaps a little bit cooler further to the northwest up across inland southeastern Georgia. But rain chances, yet again, will pretty much stay relatively low at about 10 to 20% through most of the daytime hours. Our rain chances really won't begin to increase until after dinner time Sunday night. And I mentioned earlier that chance for a few isolated thunderstorms across Alabama moving towards Atlanta. Well, we also still have that threat. Now, not in Jacksonville, no, but for western Pierce County and northern Ware and even far northwestern Charlton, we are included in that level 1 out of 5 marginal risk for severe weather. Am I expecting it? No. I think there's a low chance, so an isolated chance of maybe a 40 to 60 mile per hour wind gust. The tornado risk seems very, very low. It's not zero, but it is rather low. So we're really just watching for an isolated, strong wind gusts and some locally heavy rainfall as that line of storms moves in. So here is what our latest in-house model is showing. So moving into kind of the northern part of the Suwannee Valley and the Okefenokee by 6 to 7 p.m., Sunday evening. So just after sunset, this line of isolated storms and primarily scattered showers will begin to roll in, not really reaching the Jacksonville area until perhaps just before midnight. So we're talking 11 p.m. probably at the earliest, but closer to midnight seems likelier for this line to hit Jacksonville. We're not expecting severe weather around Jax. And then the good news is that most of the rain pretty much clears out of here by Monday morning. We'll have some lingering showers across our more southern counties. So I would say from maybe like Silverleaf and Nocatee southward. Similar story for Green Cove and south down towards Palatka. Still some morning showers there on Monday, but then clearing skies as Monday afternoon wears on. So first part of the day, still a little overcast, some showers there for your Monday morning commute. Shouldn't be too impactful though, but a very cold wind is going to start to blow in. And I wouldn't be surprised if Monday turns out to be one of those days where temperatures are actually the warmest during the early morning hours, and they just continue to go down and down and down as the afternoon and the evening wear on. And we had one of those days, I guess it was it the beginning of this week or maybe late last week? We've recently had one of those days. I think it was late last week that our warmest temperature started, right around 12:01 a.m. And then we just continued to cool off more and more from there, primarily because behind that cold front, so this, winter system that's bringing all the snow and ice to areas to our north, there is, truly Arctic air. We looked at those temperatures up across the northern plains and the upper Midwest. That is going to surge southward down toward our neck of the woods. Now, yes, the cold air will become diluted, so it's not going to be nearly as cold, but you see a lot of blue there. That's going to pretty much lock us in through a large portion of next week, and certainly so by next Tuesday morning. So we have already issued a weather impact alert for Tuesday morning. Temperatures behind that cold front dropping for the beaches into the low 30s, so you will not be immune to the cold out at the beaches. For the rest of us, upper to mid 20s, pretty much from I-95 inland. So not only freezing temperatures, but we could have a long duration of temperatures well below freezing. So typically, a hard freeze, you have more than about 3 or 4 hours at 28, 27, 26 degrees, you're going to have a hard freeze. So certainly areas at least west of Highway 17 will have that hard freeze in place Tuesday morning. So it will be a good idea. Bring out those sheets or those trash bags or whatever you need to cover up the plants outside. I'm sure you did it earlier in the week. You're going to need to do it again early next week. Bring those pets in, check up on your friends and family and those people out there as well. And then, of course, your home best. But if you've had to drip your pipes, recently over the past couple of nights, maybe not last night or the night before, but earlier in the week, you're probably going to need to do that again as well. And then, out of the bus stop, layer the kids up. We're talking like perhaps long johns if they got to stand out at the bus stop or ride their bike to school. Jeans, winter coats, gloves, beanie hat, all the winter weather apparel that you got. The kiddos are going to need it, and probably you will too. Maybe get in your car a little bit early, turn the heater on because that steering wheel and that seat going to be a little bit chilly. So weather impact alert there for Tuesday morning. And unfortunately, the cold is really going to set in through most of next week. So we're going to take another quick break here. When we come back, I'll kind of take you through what most of next week is looking like, kind of just reiterate everything we already talked about, tie a bow on the 7-day, and we'll let you go. But for first here, let's take another break. Might need to get that space heater or that heated blanket out and ready to go. I know it might be hard to believe considering we're going to be in the 80s Sunday afternoon, but most of next week, I mean, winter is fully setting in. It's not going to let go of us. It's going to have a firm grip or grasp on all of us here on the First Coast next week. Here's a look at those morning low temperatures next Tuesday. Get used to what this picture looks like. It probably will be the coldest morning next week, but nonetheless, I mean, nearly every single morning next week, at least for the Jacksonville area, will have those morning lows at or below freezing. So there's a look at the 7-day. We've only issued that weather impact for Tuesday morning. You might ask, well, okay, why just that day? If you look at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all of those are at or below freezing. Well, really, it kind of becomes the norm after a couple of days. Certainly after the warm weekend that we're going to have here, especially on Sunday. That cold air is going to hit you like a sack of bricks and almost going to hit you in the face when you wake up Tuesday morning. But after that, I mean, you kind of get used to it. It's not our first freeze of the year. It's kind of becomes a part of your routine. You expect it to be cold when you first walk out the door. So Tuesday morning will really be the only weather impact alert just to let you know, hey, the cold is here and it's pretty much staying here all of next week. You look at the afternoon temperatures, I mean, upper 40s, we might hit 50 on Tuesday, but I think it'll be a tough one to reach. But I mean, mid to low 50s, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a little bit of a breeze out there as well. Now, the one, I guess, piece of good news is that it will be sunny. We're not expecting any rain and or snow next week. I probably even shouldn't say that S word. But, we are looking dry next week, but it is going to be quite cold. I can only wait for, how cold my hands are going to feel here in the First Coast News studio and newsroom next week. Because we don't have the greatest heating, so I'm gonna have to see if Lou can maybe hook me up with some hand warmers or something next week. But otherwise, let's just take a look back here at the weekend. Cooler overcast, breezy for your Saturday. Upper 50s for southeastern Georgia, low to mid 60s for Jacksonville, upper 60s and lower 70s pretty much from southern Clay County and Stark southward down towards Keystone Heights and Gainesville tomorrow. So a wide variety and range of temperatures for your Saturday. Sunday, we flip the script. Southwest wind kicks in, a huge surge of warmth and moisture. So one thing I probably haven't noted yet that I should is that it is going to be significantly more humid and muggy on Sunday as those temperatures reach the low 80s. So a bit of a steamy, spicy end to the weekend here on the First Coast Sunday afternoon. That front arrives Sunday night and into early Monday morning. So that's why we've kept rain chances low on Sunday and Monday, but we've given that overnight period a 70% chance because I do think it will rain a good bit for a lot of folks Sunday night. If you're working the night shift,